Xavier University Television Studio, this is Xavier News. Your campus, your region, your world. This is Xavier News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is November 3rd, and I am George Putoff.
And I am Owen Gorsuch. Welcome back to Xavier News.
Beloved actor Matthew Perry passed away due to apparent drowning last Sunday. Perry is known for playing the iconic character Chandler Bing in the 90s sitcom Friends. He received Primetime Emmy Award nominations for his performances in The West Wing and The Ron Clark Story. Perry struggled with addiction for many years, and he later dedicated his own life to helping others with addiction, including creating a sober living facility for men. Xavier sends condolences to his family and friends.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rules out a temporary ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. He says he will not stop until Hamas releases all hostages. Over 10,000 people have been killed since the attack started October 7th, many of whom were civilians and children. But over 500 people were able to cross from Gaza into Egypt on Wednesday. The U.S. and Israel have also identified a way to get fuel and hospitals in Gaza, though it is unclear when that plan will be put into action.
This Monday, the United Auto Workers struck a tentative deal with the three biggest U.S. automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, which is set to end the union's 6-week strike. The strike began in September after disagreements over terms of a new labor contract between the companies and the UAW. The new contract will include a 25% increase in pay over the terms of the agreement. The raises and benefits, like cost of living adjustments, will bring the top wage to over $42 an hour and a 70% increase for starting wages to over $30 per hour. The strikes reportedly cost GM, Ford, and Stellantis billions of dollars in lost production, and the new deal could potentially increase labor costs for vehicles. The proposed agreements are considered record-setting for the union, but will still need to be ratified by members of each of the big three motor companies.
Last week, the parents of Colombian soccer player Luis Diaz were kidnapped in the Liverpool player's hometown. The president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, reported that Diaz's mom was rescued hours after she was abducted. However, Diaz's father is still missing. Last Sunday, Colombian authorities announced a reward of 200 million pesos or $48,000 for any information that would help locate Diaz's dad.
Here at Xavier, across the street from the hub, the Nexus Community Garden has grown into a link between Xavier and its surrounding communities to help combat food insecurity. Here's Luke Yoakley with more.
So I'm Dahlia. I'm a senior environmental science major, peace and justice studies and psychology minor. So I was a sophomore in my entomology lab, and our professor told us come to the Nexus Gardens because there's so many different kinds of crops here, so many different kinds of flowers, and just so much diversity here. And then I went from a volunteer to an intern. All of the plots that are in wood are actually owned privately by people. They spend, I think, $30 to own it for an entire year, and they can really grow whatever they want there. We have some people that grow flowers, some people grow food. Most of the beds that are not in wood are actually all for food pantries. We actually have 2 composts at the garden. We built a little compost thing that is way too small for the amount of compost we have. You let it sit, and then when it composes a little bit, and then eventually becomes soil that we put in the garden. And we actually just got a grant from the city of Cincinnati, and they implanted an entire new compost system. And our hope is to get Xavier back involved with compost and getting some of that food from the calf and bringing it here. One of our professors at Xavier University, Emily Franzen, actually has a master's in entomology. She brought her bees here, and now I believe we have 4 bee houses. I mean, they're great for the garden. All throughout the year we'll find them here. They pollinate our crops, they keep things looking healthy, and they're just so fun to see flying around, and it's really just a great sight to see. Really just sending an email to the Bellarmine Chapel, getting in contact with XSS, or just coming up here because usually someone's here every day, and just stop by and say hi.
Reporting for Xavier News, this is Luke Yoakley.
In a shocking turn of events, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers faced off against each other in the World Series. The Rangers had never won a World Series in franchise history up to this point, and the Diamondbacks have not won a World Series title since 2001, so the match came as a huge shock to baseball fans around the country. The Rangers broke their dry spell on Wednesday by winning their first World Series title in the thrilling Game 5 showdown. Stick around for more on sports after weather.
This week, President Biden issued an executive order addressing regulations on artificial intelligence and large language models like ChatGPT. This is the U.S. government's first official move to protect against the risks of AI and redirect its potential. The order includes requirements that AI models cannot be used to produce biological or nuclear weapons, as well as guidelines recommending watermarked visual content to distinguish from AI-generated content. With the presidential election on the horizon, concerns about AI's potential for misinformation are high.
This Tuesday, Ohio voters will head to the polls to decide on numerous referendums that will affect Xavier students and Cincinnatians. The first ballot measure, Issue 1, will address abortion rights in the state and whether or not to add a constitutional amendment that guarantees reproductive rights. Issue 2 will decide whether or not to legalize recreational cannabis use within the state and regulate it similarly to alcohol. Other measures more relevant to Cincinnati are Issue 22 and Issue 24. 22 addresses the sale of the Cincinnati Southern Railway, the last city-owned railway in the nation, to Norfolk Southern. Proponents of the measure argue it will bring considerably more revenue to Cincinnati than what the railway yields under its current lease. Issue 24 asks voters whether to raise income and withholding taxes to maintain and develop more affordable housing throughout the city.
With so many holidays this time of year, we decided to check with students to see what their favorite is. Take a look.
My name is Kylie McMahon, and your question of the week is, what is your favorite holiday and why?
My favorite holiday would definitely be Christmas because I feel like it brings out the best in people and it's a time you can spend with friends and family. So.
I'd have to say my favorite holiday would have to be Christmas. Get to spend time with family, get to eat all the dessert and candy, and get presents and give presents. It's just a great time all around.
I've got to say that Christmas is my favorite. I just love the cold feeling outside. It's all pretty, and I just love being around my family all day. So,
Christmas.
Nathan, what is your favorite holiday and why?
I would have to say the 4th of July because I usually spend it at my friend's lake house, and it's just in the summer, good weather, and usually we go on his boat too, so it's just a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a great time.
My favorite holiday is Halloween because I like dressing up and be able to express myself, and it's also during my favorite season, fall.
I'd have to say Thanksgiving, just because all my family gets together and we have a big party going on, so it's always fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
My favorite holiday is Easter. I just feel like the colors are so beautiful, and it's a fun time to be with family, and it's just leading into summer.
So George, what is your favorite holiday?
For me, it has to be Thanksgiving. I just think that the food is unmatched.
Okay. For me, it's also Thanksgiving because it gives me a chance to see all of my extended family.
Last week, a Category 5 hurricane hit Mexico's Pacific coast. Within 12 hours, Hurricane Otis went from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane, leaving residents unprepared once the hurricane made landfall. Otis has devastated homes and left thousands without power. As of today, there are nearly 100 people either missing or confirmed dead from Hurricane Otis.
A woman pleads guilty after plan to destroy competing nail salon fails. Kim Tae-Vu pled guilty October 26th in federal court in Cincinnati for conspiracy to commit malicious destruction by fire. Vu planned to destroy Bora Bora Nails and Spa in Monroe, along with 2 accomplices with a remote ignition device placed behind a desk in the nail salon. The explosion was prevented by an employee of Bora Bora Nails and Spa who found the explosive device before detonation and removed it. Vu currently faces between 2 and 5 years in prison. The 2 accomplices have signed plea agreements but have not formally pled guilty in court.
This weekend, Xavier's music program will be holding a performance of the Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon. Here's Dale Hyde with more.
Howdy, I'm Dale from Xavier News. Recently, students in the Xavier Music Department are undertaking an ambitious project, performing the entirety of Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. We now go to Long Rosado Hall to check out some more information. Let's see the business.
I'm Logan Herrera, and I'm a drummer slash producer for the Dark Side of the Moon class. I'd have to say my favorite part is just working with all these new people and teaching them some of the stuff I've learned over the past 4 years, and coming in here before every practice and making sure all the technology is set up so we'll have a clean, easy rehearsal.
My name is Trey Jackson. I am part of a 3-man production team here with the Pink Floyd class. Everybody that's involved is either a music major, music performance major, or a music production minor.
What inspired us to choose this album was it's one of the top selling albums of all time, and almost everybody knows it, or at least knows the album cover. Last year we did the Beatles' The White Album, and we're trying to do some of the best albums of all time, and I feel like you almost can't top Dark Side of the Moon. It's definitely one of the best and most popular albums of all time. That's why we're doing it.
We perform November 2nd at the CFI, and then on Sunday, November 5th at the Redmore at 6 p.m. So come through, come say what's up, come enjoy the show.
As we continue to celebrate 50 years of the DIFT program here at Xavier, we look to the education being taught today. Led by Program Director Bliss DeVault and largely taking place in the same studio inside of Brockman Hall since 1973, the program provides a fully comprehensive education of visual storytelling, film, and television production. From writing to filming to editing, students receive hands-on education to prepare themselves for any job they plan to go out and get.
Last week, a deer found itself wandering through a Wisconsin restaurant after crashing through the window. The event took place at a Noodles & Company restaurant in Beloit, where security camera footage captured the entirety of the Buck Wild incident. The packed crowd of people turned into complete chaos when a deer sprints across the room. After scaring all the guests away, the deer made its way into the kitchen where it began to casually stroll around until eventually making its way out the back door. While the visit from the unusual guest was certainly unexpected, the restaurant took the deer's arrival as a perfect marketing opportunity, creating the $2 mac and cheese in its honor.
This weekend, Xavier SAC will be hosting a fall festival on Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. in the yard. It will be sure to satisfy all your fall cravings with hot cider and kettle corn, along with a petting zoo, hay rides around campus, and a corn maze. Xavier is also putting on a free trip and tour to the Cincinnati Observatory from 6:40 to 8:40 on Sunday, sponsored by the Physics Club. Looking to get off campus? Then be sure to check out these events. If you were not able to check out the haunted house at Dent Schoolhouse in October, then you will still be able to get some frights this Friday from Saturday to 7:30 to midnight. Or if you are looking for a scare-free activity, lace up your ice skates and head over to the Fountain Square Ice Rink from 8 a.m. to noon on Saturday. And of course, you can finish off your weekend with tailgating for the Bengals game this Sunday in Fountain Square starting at 4 p.m.
XUFTC's Song of the Week is Shake It Off, Taylor's version by Taylor Swift. And with that, that's all from the news desk.
We'll be right back with the latest in pop culture, but first, a look at Spanish Club's Dia de los Muertos event last Wednesday.
Dia de los Muertos is a holiday celebrated largely in Mexico but also in other Latin American countries. It is when we remember and celebrate our loved ones who have passed on and believe that they come visit us on the night of the November 1st and November 2nd.
I think it's important for college students to know about Dia de los Muertos in 2023 just because our college is growing and more representation of Hispanic students I think are going to be more important as we grow as a college. And so it's just a good knowledge to have of kind of like the different holidays that happen in Mexico or around other Hispanic countries as well.
So marigolds are also known as cempasúchil. That is the Mexican name, specifically the Nahuatl language name from the Aztecs. It is a beautiful flower and has a really nice scent, and it's like very bright, it's big, it's yellow and orangish, and it's actually a huge part of the ofrendas because those are supposed to guide our loved ones' spirits from the dead to the living.
My favorite part about Dia de los Muertos is this event where we bring the Xavier community together and teach them more about the culture and the meaning behind Dia de los Muertos and how each country celebrates them different. Mexico is really big on Dia de los Muertos. They throw huge parties. A lot of people gather together. They bring a bunch of food and just have a nice moment remembering their loved ones.
Good afternoon, Xavier Musketeers. It's time to talk pop culture.
My name is Luke Sherman.
And my name is Maite Delgado.
Now let's get right into it. Are you a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's games?
I mean, it's really cool. I know of it. It's not something I'm really into, but definitely interested in what I've been seeing on the news.
Oh yeah, for the new movie coming out?
Yeah.
I went and saw it opening night. I know nothing about the lore. I know it's super deep and the story is like amazing, but I knew nothing about it going into it, and I really enjoyed the movie so far.
Yeah, I saw the trailer and it was something really interesting. Haven't seen it yet, but definitely will be going to theaters to watch it. It was super, super fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Five Nights at Freddy's is streaming on Peacock and in theaters now, so go check it out for yourself. Now, speaking of things released last Friday, Taylor Swift released her newest album, 1989, Taylor's Version. What'd you think of it?
I really loved it. I mean, I was listening to it beforehand and we listened to it a little bit before the shoot. I mean, it was really incredible. It has so many iconic and really popular songs on this album, and I really enjoyed her new bonus track that she added on called Slut, which was really, really fun. It was really cool, and I really loved the entire idea behind the movement of feminism and taking back the word. It was a really pretty song. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest Swiftie myself, but a few times I had to stop and add those songs to my playlist.
Yeah.
Like, I really do enjoy her music. So many iconic songs just on this record alone. I really enjoyed it. So anyone interested should go check it out. 1989 Taylor's Version, now on Spotify or any music streaming service.
For sure. Some other news and different kinds of albums that have also come out. Dance Macabre has come out.
Oh yeah,
by
from
Duran
Duran.
Duran. Yeah,
I love that album, listening to it.
Yeah, similarly also, Blink has come out with new music.
Blink-182, yeah. Oh, I'm such a big Blink-182 fan. One More Time, amazing album also. Kind of similar to them in the more metal region though is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards. A little bit more niche, but still super popular with their newest album, The Silver Chord. So anyone interested should go check all those out on Spotify. Well, speaking of Blink-182, their drummer, Travis Barker, is now in the middle of a Kardashian feud between Kim and Kourtney.
Yeah, I mean, keeping up with the Kardashians has never been juicier, has it? I mean, sisters share everything, but now we're sharing a man. I mean, he came out talking in his memoir how he had a secret attraction towards Kim, which obviously started a problem between the sisters. I mean...
He really exposed himself on that one.
Yeah, he really, really did. I mean, it's been everything on the show and just in the tabloids about what's been happening and the sisters fighting over that, even all their other drama, that's obviously the focus. So
yeah. Well, in other celebrity news, Jada Pinkett Smith, the wife of Will Smith, came out and said that her and Will Smith have been separated for 7 years.
7 years, that's a really, really long time. And for us to have not known, I mean, we think back to the Oscars, I mean.
The slap heard around the world.
Yeah.
Like, we should have had some kind of, that was a warning.
I mean, he definitely was defensive and he obviously cares about her. And it's not a divorce, so we'll see what happens in the future, but 7 years is a lot for us to have not known and a lot for them to have been just separated. So
well, Halle Bailey, the live-action Little Mermaid, is pregnant now.
that's insane. I wonder if she was like expecting during the movie or
was she?
how long. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know the logistics, but I'm really excited. I saw her like Instagram posts and all the different things and paparazzi photos of her in like sweatpants and everything with the baby bump. It was really cute. So I'm excited to see.
Well, Britney Spears is out on her book tour now for her new book, The Woman in Me.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy. Britney Spears is a really iconic celebrity, has been in the news since she was so young. I mean, someone who my parents know, we know, the generation after us know.
Since
so
we were
many
kids,
iconic songs. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a fan of Britney to know literally Baby One More Time, like all the things.
Exactly. I'm not a fan at all, and I know so many of her music, like so many of her songs, all in my playlists. Everything. I love her, so wishing her the best.
Yeah, she talks about her different controlled career, her relationships, struggle with addiction, her involvement with the media, so it'll be really something cool to read about.
Well, I'm definitely going to pick up a copy.
Of course.
Of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's all for pop culture this week. We'll be right back with the Xavier Weekend Weather Report.
Hello everyone, my name is Paris Dennis and this is your Xavier Weekend Weather Report. So it's finally November, so let's get into this weather. So going on today, it's obviously Friday and we're starting off partly cloudy with a high of 61 degrees and a low of 44 degrees. And going into tomorrow, there'll be more clouds, but we won't let that bother us. It'll be a high of 60 degrees and a low of 43 degrees. And then we'll go back to partly cloudy with a high of 62 degrees and a low of 42 degrees. But please be mindful and dress accordingly. We want to be warm, don't we? Now, let's go to Druid Sports.
Hello everybody, my name is Drew Collins and you're watching the Sports Report. Another busy week for sports right here in the Tri-State. Beginning with professional sports, FC Cincinnati won their first game of the series with the New York Red Bulls. 3-0 at TQL Stadium. They will now head to New Jersey, and if they win Saturday night, they will move on to the next round of the playoffs. And after a very slow start to the season for the Bengals, they are now one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. At 4-3, they will play primetime Sunday night football against the Bills at Paycor Stadium. Everyone expects this one to be a shootout, so make sure to wear your stripes. And now to Xavier Sports, the women's soccer team continues their run to become Big East champs. They defeated Providence yesterday 2-0 and now will play the 2023 Big East Championship on Sunday against Georgetown. This game will be played out in Maryland for those interested in making the trip. And the men's soccer team blew out UConn earlier in the week 4-0 and host Akron in the first round of the Big East tournament Saturday night at Cochran Field. Make sure to come out and support the boys as well. And last but not least, the volleyball team ended their road trip by beating Seton Hall. They now return to Cintas tonight at 6 p.m. against Georgetown. Well, that is a wrap on the Sports Report this week. Go X!